Hello everyone, and welcome to another tutorial on Revit. This tutorial, which is technically more of a webinar, but we're going through all components that you need in Revit and start a project from scratch. So with that being said, let's quickly go to New. When you want to start a new project, you have annotation symbols, you have title block, conceptual, mass, and family. For now, we're going to create a new project, which is technically the main files you'll be having. You need to choose a template, or when you open it, you will see that there are multiple options. Some are imperial, some are in metrics. What we are looking for as architects is metric architectural template. If you're working from North America or the United Kingdom, you might feel more comfortable with imperial templates. For now, we are going to select metric architecture template, and here you say you can either create a project or you could create a project template. Creating project templates is when you want to have your own templates, you have some set of things that you want to have. When you click that, you will have those things that you saved in a separate template, or if you want to create a template and then have a template here. For now, we are going to create a project. This is the basic template you'll have. While it's loading, I'll quickly go through what we have here. Here's the properties of the components that you'll be using. You have the project browser here. And from the project browser, you can see what you have. You have the floor plans, level 1, level 2. These are part of the templates. You can also create a template for yourself. For example, level 1, level 2, level 3. Whenever you load that, you'll have those things. This is the default by Revit. So you have level 1, level 2 and the sides, and then the ceiling plans and the elevations. The first thing I want to show you is that when you go to elevations, you have levels here. As you can see, this is 4,000. It's absolutely not in meters because that does not make sense. So the first thing we do as architects, we normally want to work with meters or centimeters. We do not prefer millimeters. So you go to manage, the tab up here, which technically you can manage everything in your work place here. What you're looking for is project units. You click project units, and then here you can see that what everything is in. We are having the length. This one is in millimeters. You click that, you select millimeters, and you put it to meters. You do not want probably rounding, so you'll just leave it as it is. And you can use the unit symbol so that you do not mess things up. You absolutely want to check that, and you press OK, and then you click OK. So it's 4 meters. Now, as you can see, there is a rounding. We need to go to project units again, go to the length, and yeah, there it is. So you can have 2 decimal places or 3 decimal places. We want 2 decimal places, and that's how it will be working. Press OK, and now it's working. It's 4.20 meters as a level. So if you have a sketch or something that you already know your levels, you can edit them here easily. All you need to do is to go to the architecture tab. We normally want the first floor to be 3.2 in a very normal project, and then you can have another option here. You just press and throw this here. Now, if you want to change the level, you can easily change that to 6.4. And there you go. You have your levels, and this is how you create a new level. Once you create a new level, you will see that in your floor plans and ceiling plans, you have now 3 levels instead of 2. So this is one of the benefits of BIM software or tools. You can easily create everything you want in one of these options in one of the elevations, and the floor plans will change. If you change something in floor plans, the elevations will change, the sections will change, all other things. So we have our levels open here. Let's go and close some because we do not want to have multiple. Oh, sorry, this is our project 2. These are from the project 1. Let's close project 1. No. Okay. Now at level 1, let's go to the architecture tab. We want to create a very basic wall. But before we create a wall, you might have hand sketches that you want to import to Revit. For that, you just need to go to the insert part. Now you can link a CAD file if you already drew your stuff from what you have, or you can link an image or link a PDF, whichever is easier for you. And then you can technically import that to your workplace. There is two different options. The first option is link. The second option is import. There is a difference. When you link something, whatever change you make in the original file, for example, the CAD file, or in the image, or in the PDF, it will reflect in Revit as well. But when you import a file, if you change the original file, it won't change. And that is the main difference between import and linking. So I suggest that if you're working with a CAD file, you go with link CAD. If you're working with image or PDF, because you normally don't change them or just took a photograph, normally import them. However, remember that linking is more resource intensive. So if you're working with something big, something huge, you can just import the CAD file as well if it's really a big profile, because it will slow your workstation. But if you have a really massive and giant workstation, then that's okay. Maybe your PC or your laptop can handle that. Then you can import large files you want. Importing house plans or apartments and stuff like that, they are okay. They are not that resource intensive. But importing, for example, a hospital with all details and everything that normally they design, it might be a little bit resource intensive. There is a link topography here. This is from CAD files or the text files, and we will go back to that later on, because now we just want to create what we have. I have a very basic sketch in front of me, so let's go to architecture and let's start working with Revit. So let's continue. We want this wall to be created. This is a very basic wall. When you want to draw a wall, there are different options that you need to be aware of when you are drawing. The first thing is that we have something here as depth or height. We normally work with height. We put it on. Now when we are in this level, when we're in this level, we are in level 1, and we want to draw the wall. There are two options. It can be unconnected, or it can continue all the way up to other levels. If you put it on level 1, you will receive a warning. The top of the wall is lower than the base of the wall, so it doesn't work. You can expand on that, and you will see what the error is, and you will understand what you're doing wrong. This is very helpful. This debug is very helpful when you're working in large projects and something is going wrong. So what you can choose is unconnected. That's normally if you have a wall just standing in your landscape or somewhere, that's okay. But normally we want to connect it to other levels. So we're going to choose level 2. We are going to draw a wall. These two symbols here are for south, east, west, and north elevations here. Let's draw a wall here. Just draw to see what happens. This is the first wall we draw. And the second one, we want to connect it to the third level. Okay, there we go. So now let's see what's happening in our elevation. This is our wall, which is connected to the third floor. This is our wall, which is connected to our second floor. Let's go back to level 1, work all over the word walls. We have the wall here. You have the option to choose where to throw it, where to draw it, and you have different options: wall center line, core center line, finish face, exterior interior, core face, exterior interior. So when you're working with large projects, or when you have already some walls in the project, these are very helpful. For now, I'm going to leave it at wall center line, but if you are, for example, designing a large project that you will later on see, we normally need to choose different options when we are drawing different options. The option chain means that it will start drawing non-stop, like this, and this. if you remove the option of chain, it will just draw one wall and it will stop. Then you can draw another wall. So I'm going to select chain for now. The offset shows that it can be offsetted from where you are drawing. For example, if you put it on half and we have a wall here, you will see that there's an offset, right? So you can activate the radius, and now you will see that the offset on the corners will happen. So the difference between offset and radius is the difference in this angle that happens here. We normally work with radius or neither of the two, so we'll just put it to 0. Joint status, it means allow. It means that they can connect to each other. If you disable it, you will see that here is a little bit messy and these are two different walls. Now, these are the basic of walls. I'll go to the wall creation in a few minutes, but before that, let's show you how to link your sketches and how to start drawing from them. For this reason, you should go to the, for doing that, you need to go to the Insert tab. And then I prefer for my images to be imported. You press import, and once you press import, there is a dialog box like this that shows up. What you want to do is to click your image, open it, and place it somewhere in the working platform that you are having. This is a very basic one I have. You can rotate it, you can change the size, you can do whatever you want with it. These are your options here, the modify options. We'll go through them later on. I do not need to rotate it. I do not need to do anything to it. However, you might want to scale it. Now, let's say I want this big wall to be 20 meters. What I do, where it's almost 20 meters, so let's say I want this to be 25. For giving the input to the wall, you just type on your keyboard, it will automatically create that. And as you notice, I'm putting it on wall set and right. So I just press, and that is okay. So now first, let's scale this photo, and to just deactivate something, you press escape once and everything is deactivated. You click this one once, and then you choose the scale option from here, or you can just press RE right, quickly like this. So then it's selected, or you can just select it from there. So Revit is very helpful in a few ways. You have two options for scaling. First is graphical, the other one is numerical. With numerical, you just give it to scale. You need to calculate what number it should be multiplied by to reach that. You need to press here and then just, click it. There you go. It just increases that much because the value we had, the multiplier, was 1.84. Now, let's go back. Architects normally prefer to work with graphical because we can simply grab here and select this one and just increase it to the end of the wall. Or you can just decrease it a little bit if you want them to exactly match. Now, if you remember, we said that we want the wall to be exactly matching for some cases. For example, for the interior of the space, from corner to corner, we want it to be 20 meters. If you press the center and the wall is on center line, it won't be 20 meters. And we need to turn on the joints allowed. So let me go with the wall and put it on allow. Right. And now let's draw it again. For example, 14 meters. Perfect. And another one from here. Same 40 meters. Okay. Now, these have connected, but sometimes these things happen. If that happens, you do not need to redraw the wall. You can simply extend it or drag the end to here. Okay. As you can see, this is not connecting. The reason is we left it on center line. We need to say, okay, the other wall. Let me just go back. So this wall couldn't come up, so we have to choose the other wall to just extend it. There you go. And it's working now. So both are joined. And now the walls are joined. What I wanted to show you is that the interior of the place is now 25 meters. Now it's center line to center line. You need to put it on, you can't put it to wall faces. Once you put it to wall faces, you can see that the interior is 20 centimeters less than what you wanted. To solve this problem, you have two options. You can either modify the wall here and move center line to finish face exterior, and then move one of the walls .20 meters to make sure that they can join. There you go. However, to avoid such problems, you simply need to, I'm going to remove the image. You can see the wall center line to center line is 25.2. To avoid such problems, when you are creating your walls, just put it to finish face exterior. This wall was 25 centimeters, or it is now 25.4. Let's just remove that one as well. So it was 25 meters, I believe. And now we are on finish face exterior. Once you are on finish face exterior, as you can see, when you are drawing this, it's moving inside. We don't want that. We want it to move outside. So you just press escape once, choose it to finish face interior. And now it's moving outside. So you see when I'm clicking the corners, it's on the opposite side. Now this one again is an interior. You need to just select finish face exterior. And then you just need to check finish face exterior. And then you will just see what you're having here. So this is the basic of drawing a wall. And now we're going to start the real project. I go to the wall and there are a few options here. These are technically the same properties that you are defining here. You can later on change everything instead of deleting and drawing the wall again. Now we have different types of wall in the BIM tools. We have the walls, the basics, which you can find them here. Brick and metal style or generic wall, masonry, blockwork, all those things. There's a stacked wall and there's curtain walls as well. The curtain walls are technically windows. So what we want to do is create a new wall for our project. I just edit type. Now we want a new project, new wall, and you can choose where this new thing can go. What I want to do, you can also have other options later on, but for now, let's select preview. As you can see, generic wall is just one wall. What I want to do is to duplicate it, change the name. I want to put it, to call it stone wall. I prefer the camel naming, which you just write the words in capital. To bring this to the front, to the top of the list, you can put always 0 in the beginning and then an underline to make things clear. But for now, let's just call it a stone wall. Press OK. Now we have a stone wall, we have also the generic wall up there. The stone wall is ours. This is what we created. There's a structure part, there is a graphics part, materials and finish, analytic properties, identity data, and IFC parameters. For now, we're going to check a structure. You can add a structure here. There's a core boundary, as you can see. There's a material, there's a thickness, there's wraps, structure, material, and all those things. The structure of the wall, I want to put it to, for example, 0.15. I will insert another layer and you can choose what this layer is. Structure, substrate, thermal air layer, finish 1, finish 2, membrane layer. There's a sample height up here, which you can later on change. The total thickness is written here, resistance is written here, thermal mass is written here, which are really helpful for energy analysis later on. Now let's say we want to move this one out of the core. You just press up, we want a brand new layer, and you want to move it down. This one, for example, can be finish 1, this one can be finish 2, because we have 2 different finishes. At the structured layer, if it's an exterior wall, for the first layer, you want, for example, a thermal air layer. And now you need to select the thicknesses. Now it will be 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters, and 1 centimeter. Now you can see where the thermal air layer is. So neither of these are structural materials, these are wraps, and this is how you can simply create a wall with 2 finishes. Now we have a modifier vertical structure. You can also modify that if you want. You can merge regions, assign layers, split regions, sweeps, reveals, modify. We normally do not want to do that as long as you're working on a really detailed project. So let's wait to go back to floor plan and see what they created. So continuing, we press OK. These are the wrapping options. The function for us is exterior. You can also select what type of wall you want here. I'll go through that later on. The graphics, the coarse scale field color is black. Coarse scale field pattern is white. Can be whatever color you choose. It's solid field. And then there are the options, analytical properties, absorptions, and all other options here. And we just press OK. Now we have a basic wall which we are having here. For clarity, you could add, because we created as exterior, you could add exterior in the beginning, so that later on for calculations and stuff, you will just know what you have created. The base constraint is where the wall will be. If you're in level 1, if you select the base constraint as level 2, you see you'll get the same this error that the top of the wall is lower than the base of the wall, because the height is set to level 2 and we can set it to level 3. Once set to level 2, if you set here to level 2 and that to level 3, even if you draw in level 1, the wall, as you can see, nothing is level 1, and there's a warning. None of the created elements are visible in floor plan level 1. You may want to check the active views parameters and visibility settings, as well as any plan regions and their settings. The reason why it's happening because we set the I am just going to cancel it for saving right now. If you go to the east elevation, you will see that the wall is on the 2nd floor. There it is. You might have noticed that there are some errors here. You can easily just drag and drop them to whatever level you want. You can also change them. But when you change them this way, which I absolutely do not recommend unless it's to the sides, not in the levels, is because when you create this, there is a base offset here. there's a top offset as well. The top offset is 0. The only reason that you might want to do this, to have this offset, is that when you have a building which, for example, its wall is continuing 1.1 meters upward to work as a handle for the third floor. The way to do that, you know, it's 1.1 meters. It goes up for 1.1. This can be a handle. I do not recommend doing anything like this to completely extend it to levels, just as a small sections of the wall that will extrude to other levels. So what is the correct way? Not the correct way, but more efficient way to do that is that you just change the base constraint to level 1. And there it is. It is now connected to level 1. You can again change it, but as you can see, there's a base offset. This time it's positive because it's above level 1. So I'm going to put that back to 0. There is not any other thing that we can go through the for walls for now. You know the basics. You know how to create a wall. The next step is bringing a plan of yours, an image, a hand sketch, or whatever you want, to level 1 or level 2, and then just draw on it and create your levels and start drawing the walls. I will do the same. Once the walls are ready, we will go through the other parts of the project. However, before doing that, I want to tell you, if you are designing from scratch in Revit, you do not have hand sketches and stuff like that, there is an option, the model line. The model line is technically the lines that you can throw, and like this. And let's throw a curved line as well, or an elliptical wall here as well. Okay, perfect. Now I might want to modify it a little bit. Let's start splitting elements.